So, hello and welcome to the breathing space mindfulness session for today, October the 26th. And just been chatting with everyone in the Zoom room and talking about how I've spent some time today clearing out an attic room upstairs where my kids grew up, throwing out a lot of rubbish and things that are not needed anymore and thinking, what am I going to do with this space now that it's been cleared? Because obviously my kids don't need it anymore. They're all grown up and moved on in their lives. So I was kind of like, wow, there's a space here and I don't know what to do with it, and decided not to do anything. I'm sure some inspiration will hit in the future. But this is where the theme for today's meditation comes from, which is letting go. So we'll do a little practice around this concept of letting go, which is one of our key mindfulness attitudes. So as we're settling into practice, you can maybe just drop in that question to yourself. Uh, you know, what's here, what's present in my life, and is there anything asking to be let go? But we could also drop this in around change, like that room upstairs is kind of a metaphor for life. Things change. And it worked very well as a bedroom for my kids for many years. But now maybe that space needs change. And then I've got to do some practice around that, because I've got a lot of attachment to that, the memory of that space as my kids' bedroom. And I'm sure today during the practice, there'll be some things coming up around that. So whenever we ask this question about letting go, it's not like forcing the change or forcing the emotions or the thoughts to be let go. It's more what happens when we invite that question, what can I let go of? And then notice what comes up around that, what thinking, um, any efforting, any um, any holding or not wanting to let go, memories, thoughts, hopes, and that's really where the practice lies. But yeah, of course, if there are things that you find in today's practice that are particularly depleting or are using up your energy, then yeah, why not invite a softening around those as well and just see what happens. So I've given enough of an introduction now to see everybody settled for practice. I've invited people today to lie down. So if you're watching this on a video, maybe pause the video and take some time to organize somewhere to lie down, nice blankets, maybe something to drink close to hand. And when you're ready, we'll begin our practice. So here we are. I'm going to invite us all now to kind of settle into practice by becoming more aware of the body and just noticing the posture of your body. If you're lying down, maybe just noticing if you're on your side, on your back, noticing any cushions or blankets, just generally feeling your body held and supported and connected to the bed or the settee or the mat that you're lying on. And if it feels comfortable, maybe closing your eyes and using this awareness of body and the closing of your eyes as a kind of an invitation to come into practice. This shifting to a state where we are really intentionally aware of our present moment, lived experience. And John Kabat-Zinn calls this falling awake. And then, as we did last week, let's just imagine dropping a pebble into the lake. And as the pebble drops beneath the water surface, imagining everything slowing down, frame by frame. And as the pebble drops down through the kind of top layers of the water, we could ask, what's going on in the mind right now? And just check in with the mental weather pattern. Even if you don't want to look too closely at the content of your thoughts, you could notice if there's a busy mind, a troubled mind, a calm mind. Just enough to acknowledge what's here. And then dropping down deeper as the pebble slowly sinks to the kind of middle layers of the lake water. We can drop our question into our heart space, to our emotions. You know, what's our feeling tone like today? What's the emotional weather pattern? And just acknowledging anything that's been noticed as we allow that pebble to sink a little bit deeper down into the lake. And we could ask that question to the body. Yeah, what's present in the body right now? Could be a sense of energy, of ease and comfort or discomfort. There might be particular places in the body that call your attention for one reason or another, just noticing, acknowledging, and checking in. And finally, that pebble comes to rest on the soft lake bed. And it's finding a place of stillness where it's secure and it's held and it has nothing to do, nowhere else to go, just simply to rest and be aware. Maybe looking up at the surface of the lake and noticing different patterns of light, maybe noticing fish swimming by or currents in the water. And that's kind of where we're going to be with our practice, just resting in this place of stillness. And you can be connected to the bed, the mats, the chair. Allow yourself to be supported. And today's all really about letting go and what comes up around change. Either the resistance to letting go or the wanting it to happen or the, just whatever comes up around this question. We can observe that without taking any action, just simply lying like this pebble, resting and still on the lake bed. We can invite our curiosity right now into our breathing, noticing where in the body we can feel the movement of breathing. With the air coming in, the air going out, just observing that flow of breathing, feeling into the body. We're in a place that has no words. The movement of breathing as the body breathes all by itself. And let's just drop a question in, whether there's something that's going on in your life that's changed or not. I mean, when we think about it, seasons are changing. In the northern hemisphere, we're moving into autumn towards winter. There might be other things going on in your life that are changing, or they're not changing and you wish that they would. So let's just ask this question around those circumstances. What are you holding on to right now? Dropping that question into the mind, the heart, the body, just noticing how it lands. What are you holding on to right now? Just noticing if there's any particular thinking or emotions or sensations in the body. And let's see if we can, just focus for now on the body. Let's go down to the feet, the legs, the toes. And just ask into this part of the body, the feet, the legs, joints, the bones, the muscles. Just ask, is there anything here that might be tense or a sense of holding, bracing? And if we find some, can we notice where it's located? And can we notice the qualities of those sensations within the tension or the holding or the bracing? Maybe these legs don't know what they're holding on to, but there's a sense somewhere of this need to hold, to be constricted, to be tense. And having found it and noticed what it feels like, can we invite this question to my legs? Is there anything here that you could just let go of? Is there anything in those legs or feet or toes that's just asking to be let go? Or asking to relax? And we could invite that, not force it, but we can invite it. It might happen, it might not. We can invite a softening kindness around that tension or holding. Just breathing some kindness and softness into those places. And just inviting those legs to let go of effort, to sink a little bit deeper into the mat or the cushion or the settee. To allow themselves to be heavy and held. They can let go of effort. They have nothing to do right now. And then we can shift this question now to the pelvis, the back, and the shoulders. Just noticing what's here. Is there anything here that's asking to let go? As we scan through this region, it's a large region, the pelvis, the back, the shoulders. We notice anywhere that there's a sense of tension or holding, bracing, constriction, contraction. And just noticing where those places are located. Noticing the details and the layers of those sensations within that tension or the holding, bracing. And again, we can invite a sense of softening and kindness around these places. Just invite it in with the breathing. And just notice what happens as we do. Invite the pelvis and the back and the shoulders to just release and relax, to be held and supported by the mat, bed, sofa beneath you. Allow them to become a little bit heavier, just to be received and held and supported. And right now, they have absolutely nothing to do. Now we can invite that question into the arms and the hands. Is there anything here that's asking to let go? Checking in with the muscles, the bones, the joints in the arms and the hands. If we notice any tension or holding, contraction, bracing, first of all, just noticing where these different places are. And with a kind of gentle, friendly curiosity, just noticing also the qualities and layers to all those sensations within the tension or the holding. And then again, an invitation of softness and kindness around these places. There's no forcing anything to happen, just an invitation of kindness and softness, and just an invitation to those arms and hands to relax a little bit, to feel a little bit heavier and let go of effort. Allow the bed or the mat that you're lying on to take their weight. Right now, they've got nothing to do. Just rest in awareness. Moving our curiosity now to the neck and the throat, the jaw, the head, the face. Is there anything here right now that's asking to let go? You could check in and notice any tension or bracing, contraction, efforting. Again, just a bit of curiosity to where that's located. Is it around the throat or the mouth, tongue, the jaw? Is there any tension in the neck or the eyebrows or even the eyelids, lips? And then just checking into any of those places where you find that tension or bracing, contraction, just noticing the qualities of sensations within those places with a kind of a friendly attention, a befriending, a wanting to get to know those tense places a little bit better. And once you've identified them and listened to them a little bit, got to know them, we can invite some softness and kindness into those places and just notice what happens as we invite that softening and that relaxing. Allow the head, the neck to just sink that little bit deeper into the pillow or the cushion. Allow the weight to be held and supported. And then you're just lying here as a body, supported and held by the surface beneath you. No effort required. We can invite a question into the belly, the gut, the chest. Is there anything here asking to be let go? Often, if we're reacting to change or wishing for change to happen, there's a constriction, contraction in the body. We can feel it in the gut, in the chest, in the breathing. So just checking into those places in the belly, in the chest. And if we notice any tension here, any contraction or holding or bracing, we can first of all just bring that friendly curiosity to noticing where these places are and the quality of sensations that are found in those places. And then we can, of course, invite some softening, some kindness around these places. No forcing, just let them unravel in their own way and in their own time. But just notice what happens if we invite that idea of softening, relaxing into those places. Often in times of change, when things are changing and we have no control over it, or when things are not changing and we wish that they were, this can lead to feelings of frustration and impatience, striving. And this creates an emotional energy, which brings contraction into the body. So as we lie here now, is this whole body, maybe the body doesn't know what's going on that's causing the contraction. It just knows that the energy is here. So no need to think about it right now, just enough to recognize, does the body have anything else that it would like to let go of? Anything else that it's holding on to or contracting around, that it's tensing up? And if we find anywhere, just again noticing where it is and inviting a sense of softening and letting go. Now just resting in this place with the breathing and the body, allowing yourself to be supported and held by the surface. You're just like that pebble resting on the lake bed. You've got nothing to do, no action. You have nowhere else to be than right here and right now, in this place of stillness and safety and security right now. Just resting with the breathing and let go of any efforting or striving, searching, thinking. Let's see if we can just rest with the awareness of sounds in the room or the space around you. We notice that those sounds, they just rise and fade in and out of silence all by themselves. We have nothing to do except rest in the awareness of sound. Maybe notice the pitch, the volume, the duration. quality of the sound. But really, there's nothing else to do but just lie here, breathing, listening. And of course, as we lie here, just breathing and feeling the body alive and noticing sounds, the mind, of course, begins to wander as the default mode network kicks in and takes us into rumination or planning or thinking of some sort. So let's just let go of any belief that we shouldn't be thinking in a meditation. Allow those thoughts to flow. Allow the mind to wander. And we can observe the flow of thoughts just as we were listening to the flow of sounds. It's noticing thinking and observing where the mind goes, particularly around this issue of change that you might be mulling over in today's meditation. Or this question of letting go. We can notice the nature of the thinking, even if we don't want to go and get caught up too much in the content. We can observe it as if we were watching a movie in the cinema or a play on the stage. But we're not there on the stage. We're in the audience or the auditorium just watching. We're free to get up and leave anytime we want, or to stay and observe. And of course, closely connected to thinking, there'll be an emotional charge to what we're observing in those thoughts, what we're hearing in the thoughts and seeing in our mind. So, can we tune in also to emotion and feeling and just scan the body for where and how this is alive? And again, if there's any resistance or striving or any efforting involved around our situation, wishing it to be one way and wishing it wasn't another, can we feel that in the body? Are those thoughts and those emotions bringing any sense of contraction or tension into the body? And if so, once we've observed where and we've observed how it feels, just befriending, knowing the way the body perceives our thoughts and emotions, we can then invite a softness and a kindness around this very human experience. As soon as human beings evolved the capacity for creative thinking, reflection, memory, imagination, they also, of course, evolved judgment and criticism and anxiety or depression. So, welcome to being human. Can we invite some softness and some kindness around this very natural part of being alive? Yeah, instead of fighting to push it away, fighting to change it in some way, which just adds to the contraction and the tension. Instead, can we invite an acceptance, a softness, a kindness, a compassion, patience, and see what happens in the body, in the emotions as we do that. And of course, in life, we can't force things to change the way we want, and we can't stop things from changing in ways that we don't want. So if we notice any striving or efforting around that, if we notice any frustration or anger, we notice any emotions or resistance or reaction around that, is there Is there anything in that that's asking to be let go? That we could invite a softening around, a relaxing. Thich Nhat Hanh has a little quotation, or there is a quotation that somebody's picked out of the many, many, many wise things that he taught. And this particular little snippet says, people have a hard time letting go of their suffering. Out of a fear of the unknown, they prefer suffering, which is quite a heavy thing to hear, really, this word suffering. But we could interpret that as striving, wishing things to be a different way, wishing things to stay the same, because whatever we're wishing towards is probably something we're more familiar with, something within our comfort zone. Because when things go outside of that, there's unknown. We don't know what's going to happen in experience that we've never had before. So there's a resistance, a fear, perhaps. And even if there is, and it's a little bit like that attic room that I have upstairs right now, which is just a space that used to be a kid's bedroom. And there's this kind of half of me that says I should just repaint it as a bedroom, keep it familiar, and even, put little objects up there that might remind me that this was my kid's bedroom, because that's the familiar and the warm and the pleasant memories that I'm trying to cling on to. And then I thought, yeah, but what else could this space be? And that's really like the question, like if we let go of those emotions, those thoughts, those habits that we have in life, there's this unknown. What can we do with the space that we create? And instead of being scared of that change, could we see it as a space full of opportunities, possibilities? So we have probably a good 5 minutes of just silent practice coming up where you can just allow those things to linger, to land, even in the body or the emotions. You don't need to go thinking too deeply. Just open up your practice around today's theme and just be with the flow of thinking, emotion, physical sensation. So as we come towards the end of our practice today, around this theme of letting go, and remember there's two sides to this. There's the holding on to something, whether it be a bracing or a tension as a reaction to something that's happening, the physical holding on in the body. And the letting go isn't just a letting go of tension, it's also an invitation to softness and kindness. So those are the things that we're letting in. We're inviting into the space that is released from the tension. And when we let go of things we're holding on to, let go of frustration or anger, let go of the impatience for things to be a certain way, we're opening a space for possibility, for something new. Maybe for something that we've never experienced before. And in our practice, we're not really trying to make anything happen or change things or achieve any particular state of being. More, we're just asking questions and noticing what happens. So, whatever you've experienced in today's practice, there's no right way or wrong way to be feeling, no right way or wrong way to react. If the body doesn't want to let go, if the emotions want to stay tangled, if the mind wants to stay knotted, just noticing that and acknowledging that and inviting some kindness around that and trusting that in time, with patience, things will unravel in their own way. And Chris Germer, who works a lot with Kristen Neff on self-compassion, reminds us over and over that discomfort, pain, challenge, these are all normal things that happen in life. But suffering is optional, he says. Suffering is when we fight against or try to change things. Resistance, denial, judgment. So, an invitation to let go of those things is an invitation towards softness, a self-compassion, a kindness, an acceptance, and a way of navigating life's challenges in a way that's a little bit maybe wiser or healthier. And by letting go a little bit, maybe we open up a little bit of space to explore that as a possibility. So let's finish there with our practice. But of course, you can bring this into your everyday life as you're going through the week ahead. And particularly in the body, if you notice any tension or holding, invite a letting go. And if you notice your head is getting knotted up in a particular issue, maybe invite a letting go. If your emotions are getting all tangled up in something, maybe invite a letting go and just see what happens. So for now, let's invite a little bit of wriggling into our toes, our fingers. Allow that movement to come into the arms, the legs. Maybe take a deeper breath and open the eyes, noticing the room around you. I'm going to end the recording here, and we can come back and have a little chat if we like about this theme of letting go, or just talk about whatever came up in our practice.